So let's look at validity. And this is going to be a little more of a complicated section of this, and this is why we don't know a lot of the information that we'd like to know about these tests. So when we're looking at validity of these tests, we want to know, are we really measuring what we think we're measuring? I mean, that's a really, really important question within these tests, right? And so there's lots of different types of validity as well as reliability, and we'll attempt to go through and make some basic definitions out of those and what we need to do to determine whether or not these tests are going to be useful. We need to look at external or predictive validity, and so does the test an actually measure of the predicted behavior. So if we do this test here, are we able to extrapolate that and predict that the animal is going to behave in a similar situation out in the real world? So if we have two tests that are supposed to pick up fear, are these going to pick up fear in a similar, is this dog going to show fear in a similar situation out in the real world? Then we'll look at internal validity, and so we have content validity where we're looking at the actual test itself and how well do the different variables of that test represent the desired trait to be evaluated. And again, does the scary stimulus that you're presenting the animal with actually create fear in the dog? And then you look at construct validity and what's the extent of the scale that it's going to create fear. So is your stimulus going to create an extreme fear response in every single animal? Or is there going to be a gradient? Some of these animals who are more prone to being fear, they're going to show an extreme fear response, and your more normal animal is going to show a less extreme fear response. And we need to figure that out, because if we have a test that's going to show an extreme fear response in every single pet, none of these pets are going to pass the test, right? And these definitions can, by all means, get much, much more complicated than what I'm trying to present here. So these are just very basic deliveries of these. And then we look at reliability, and we want to look at different forms of reliability. So we want to look at inter-rater reliability, so different people scoring the same test. Are they getting the same results? Is this consistent between observers? And one way that we can set this up and look at that is have different people simultaneously score the same dog in the same testing environment, or we can have people watch a video clip back of the test and both score it independently and compare their answers. Are they getting the same scores? And we can look at intra-rater reliability as well. So does the same person scoring the same test at different times, do they come up with the same answers when they rescore the test at a different time? And again, this is really important because you have to have consistency within the person that they're seeing the same behaviors over and over again. And again, using video can be very helpful at this point. We'll have the same person score and then watch the video back and score again, say a week or two later or even longer. And then we need to look at retest reliability. And so, again, which ideally the dog is the only variable in the test. So if we put the dog in the exact same situation, again, ideally, the dog is going to score the same. And so far, what we know about the published literature is that no tests that have been evaluated at this point have passed all of these qualifications, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of unpublished data out there about some of the more popular tests that is leaning towards maybe there are some tests that are going to be actually valid, but it's not been published yet. So until it's published, we don't really know whether or not what they're finding in their preliminary data is really valid. So obviously this is a major area for future research, and this is something that we're looking at Purdue.